Now let's focus on the recording of the transactions. Remember, now we are going to be under the instructing attorney's books. Okay, that's why you can see here I wrote instructing attorney, meaning this book should be under the instructing attorney. To make everything simple, I prefer, of which is optional, maybe just to follow what we call the steps. This can be very, very useful when you follow the steps. Okay, so I'm going to call this step number 1. So what do I do with the step number 1? So I will deal with the money that I receive. Just say records. The amount received. Remember, the amount received obviously is going to be that cash which we received. That's the first thing. So you must deal with the amount received. In this case, the amount received is how much? As you can see, is 3,033. So you must first deal with this, the amount received. So we're going to deal with the amount received. So these are the steps, but you don't have to follow them that way. If you've got your own, there's a preferred steps, but I prefer if, let's say, you just make sure that you deal with what you understand better. Now, in dealing with the correspondent accounts, it's important to follow the steps. Now, you just have to deal with the money actually received. And obviously, when you receive, is the normal way of recording. Obviously, I'll come here and say this will be for the instructing attorney. So I'm just going to come here and then instructing attorney here, and then I'm going to open those books. Sorry, I don't have a ruler, so never mind the split lines. I'm just drawing like this, no problem. And then my first account here, the account that I always like, because I think everyone likes it. This would be our trust bank account. Okay, just gonna call it trust cash book. You like it, or bank account. Just put it a little later. Trust cash book and trust bank account. It's up to you. Doesn't matter how you call it. So, as you know, this is always debit. This is always credit. So this is the most important. This is under the trust box. Okay. So it is important for you to make sure that you know how to do it now. Said, yeah, under the instructing item. Okay. So again, we know that this cash that we are going to receive is going to be, as you can see, we're going to receive 3,033. It means it's going to go to the trust bank account. But we must also show that this comes from the correspondent, right? In the name of what? Of Sylvester. So you must also, because the transaction is between the two attorneys, you must also have an account like this, and this account, it has to be the account of the other party, which is the correspondent, in the name of what? Of Sylvester. So you can just say correspondent, say Sylvester, and then you can just say trust. It's very much important to know that we are dealing with the trust. So it's very much important to do so that you can be able to receive this money. Okay, so we are receiving this amount of money. So obviously, when we receive, you know by now, I always advise you to put arrows like that. For example, here the arrow must go up because it's where we receive cash. It's where it's now. You can do that. And this is the opposite. Remember, you're not compelled by law to do this. So, but I just think that if you do this, all your figures will look Sylvester-ish, if you know what I mean. Okay, so make sure that you use the technique that makes sense to you. So now we can receive the cash. So if you've got the date, you can put the date. But in this case, I did not put any dates. Obviously, when I receive cash, I will come to the debit side. Now, so I'm going to say, okay, I'm receiving cash, for example, and then this cash belongs to what? It comes from the correspondent. You know, correspondent. You know, so this is what am I doing? Correspondent. Yes, say so restish. So restish. And then I'm just gonna write what? Trust. You know, so that everything can make sense. So in brackets you can just write. Doesn't matter if you've got any other information. And then how much is it? I think just 3,033 like that. So it means you received money from the correspondent. So at the same time, you go to the opposite side. You just have to show that you got the money there, and that money it is in the trust bank or trust cash. Miss now. And then you can just write 3. Easy, like silver, as you can see. It's now very easy, very easy, very easy. So it is very much important for you to understand what is going on. So make sure that you understand. So receiving is the same procedure, but just make sure that you receive between the trust bank and the correspondent, because you can make a mistake. Yes, we still have to have another account for the client, the real client. Now, we've got the real client here. Who is Kamohelo? So I still have to open Kamohelo. Choose now. Trust. Choose now. Kamohelo trust. But not now. So we're going to account to Kamohelo thereafter. So for now, you need to make sure that you have business between the two. I hope it makes sense. This will be part 2 of this, and I'm going to go to the part 3. So it means this will be divided into different parts. But at the end of the day, they follow the same procedure and the same question.